Imagine if you and your partner somehow teleported into the world of Clash Royale and you had all these people looking for partners. How scared would you be that these people could win over your partner? Well, that's what I'm here to break down today. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Will the Reaper channel. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking how likely it is that these cards could realistically steal my girlfriend. And I don't mean steal as in kidnapper, I mean woo her over with their good looks and charm. From she's gone, no shot, no shot. Pretty worried, somewhat concerned, no shot and not included. Because I have to get going in a little bit, I'm gonna try to do this as fast as possible. So stick with me. First up, skeletons. Sorry, all those short kings, but my they're pretty short. And they could either be children or they could be thousands of years old, depending on their skeletal structure. So, there's no shot that they could win over my girlfriend. Plus, there's also like a group of them. So, my girlfriend only believes in one person. She's amazing. She's the best girlfriend ever. So she would not go for multiple people. So honestly, anyone in groups would just, are automatically no shot. Bomber, same thing as skeletons. Just, sorry, he's a king, but he's a short king. I have better charm than him. Goblins, no shot. Same thing with spear goblins. Not only because there's a group of them, but they're also they're supposed to be like grimy looking. They're unattractive. No one would go for them. Sorry. Zap, no shot. Knight, I'd be pretty worried about. Knight, I'd be pretty worried. He's a handsome lad. He's got some charm. The only thing is that I think he's like 50 years old. So, yeah, that's the only deterrent I could see. He might be a bit way too old. Actually, way too old for. But other than that, he's a handsome lad. Archers, she doesn't swing that way, so I'm fine. Plus, there's multiple of them. Minions, there's multiple of them. Plus they're minions. Like that'd be pretty gross if someone dated a minion. Not to be racist or whatever towards minions. Minions are my homies, but realistically, no one's going after that. Arrows, nope. Cannon, nope. Nope, not Tesla, not mortar. The buildings and spells, there's just no shot. How could you fall in love with those things, Now barbarians. So barbarians, there's 5 of them, right? But I mean, I think realistically, not only are barbarians like 50 years old or whatever, but like they're barbaric. That's in their name, so they would give off like post frat boy vibes, right? They're stupid. They're brawny, right? My girlfriend does not like the frat guy type of personality. She likes the tall, skinny, nerdy people. So that would be like the opposite. So there's just no shot that barbarians could possibly win her over. Same thing with minion horde. Tombstone, no. Musketeer's pretty charming. So I'd be somewhat concerned, but she carries around just a huge gun all day, which is pretty intimidating. I'd be pretty concerned. Valkyrie, I'd also be somewhat concerned. Valkyrie's a cool person, right? But realistically, like I feel like she's just a female version of a barbarian, right? She might be smarter, but I feel like all she would do is just like train and fight, and who would want that kind of life? You know what I mean? Hog Rider, Hog Rider, she's gone, she's taken. I can't compete with that. The only thing I could possibly compete with, like that'll give me an upper hand, is that she would have to ride hogs with him the rest of her life. And I don't think she would want that. You know what? I'd be pretty worried. I wouldn't say I'd be a goner, because having to ride hogs everywhere would be a pretty difficult life, to live. So I wouldn't do that. Mini P.E.K.K.A. and P.E.K.K.A. Oh, where's P.E.K.K.A.? No shot. I mean, they're adorable. Mini P.E.K.K.A. I'd be pretty concerned about, but I'm pretty sure Mini P.E.K.K.A. is supposed to be like a toddler, so that would be weird. And also it's a suit of armor. Same thing with the regular P.E.K.K.A. They're suits of armor. You can't really fall in love with the suit of armor. So I mean, we gotta be realistic here. Fireball, no shot. Bomb tower, no shot. The bomber in the bomb tower, just absolutely no way. Goblin hut, nope. Giant, I'd be pretty worried. Giant, I would be pretty worried. I mean, he's handsome, he's big, but he might be too big. Actually, you know what? Somewhat concerned because he's gigantic, right? He might crush her. If he like steps on her, or something like that, she would get crushed and die immediately, which would be horrible. But he also just seems kind of like stupid. He seems kind of dumb. So that might be a deterrent for my girlfriend. So I'd be somewhat concerned. Wizard. Ooh, wizard. I'd say I can't compute that. Now, besides the fact that he looks like he's like 50 years old, he just got that charm. You know what I mean? Everyone loves the wizard. I wouldn't stand a chance. You know what I mean? Like she's gone. She's gone. The wizard would woo her away, and I'd be going back. Back to the Barb hut, back to the King Tower. Very sad and alone. Um, Inferno Tower, Rocket, Elixir Collector are all no shots. Barb Hut, same thing, because not only is it a building, but yeah, barbarians just really would not have a shot with my girlfriend. So it's curtains. Mirror. I mean, you know what? She's a very beautiful girl. She's gone. Think about it like this, right? If it's not a card and it's literally just a mirror in Clash Royale, she is so beautiful that I don't think I could stand a chance against her. She all she has to do is take one look in the mirror and be like, "Wow, I'm pretty beautiful," and then if the mirror clones her, I'm done for. I love my girlfriend. She's absolutely beautiful. So I would not be able to compete against her if she got mirrored. Clone spell, no. If skeletons have no shot, then an entire swarm, 14 skeletons, like, not a lot of people promote polygamy, and I'm not hitting on people that do, or not, not like hitting on, I'm not like knocking on people that, do involve themselves in polygamous relationships, but 14 people is just a ton of people. And again, skeletons are short and could be thousands of years old, or like a 2-year-old, that's even worse. Goblin barrel? No. Regular goblins wouldn't do a trick. What's a barrel full of them gonna do? Baby dragon, no, never mind. Who am I kidding? It's a baby dragon. The baby's probably like 2 years old. Absolutely not. Free spell, no. Witch, here's the thing. The witch, I'd be pretty concerned if she can make her staff like create like a love potion. You know what I mean? And then I'd be concerned about it. But the reason why, and if that love potion works, I'm done for. But in the meantime, I think I could like maybe kill the witch before she learns that love potion. But another thing, the reason why I am pretty worried, but not super worried, is because the skeletons, the witch already has children. Yeah, that's pretty weird, like, where she got those children from the graveyard. Maybe she was sleeping around other cards, and then those skeletons, nah. She's for the graveyard. The witch is for the graveyard. She has no shot against the witch, actually. I'm sorry. She slept around with a few cards, and now she has a bunch of skeletons as her children that she can summon from the graveyard. Maybe she slept with Skeleton King or something like that. I don't know. But no shot. No shot. Prince, yeah, Prince, I'm just done for. He is literally the most charming card in the entire game. He's a handsome lad. He literally rides a pony. My girlfriend loves animals, so the pony would do a pretty good job. And he's just got that charm, like he's unbeatable. I'd be gone. Again, back to the King Tower, sad and alone. Balloon, no shot. Giant skeleton, no shot. Same reasons as the skeletons. Except for the giant skeleton, it's a double whammy because he's a giant, so he might accidentally kill her, and then also he's a skeleton, so he might be like 10 trillion years old, or like a 2-year-old. Also, he just carries around the bomb everywhere. I'd be scared. She'd probably be scared for her safety if that thing goes off. Lightning spell, Expo, no shot. Golem, no shot. No shot. Golem has no chance of stealing my girlfriend. Not a chance. If a golem steals my girlfriend, it's over. It's over. I mean, my girlfriend wouldn't go for any of these cards because she's loyal and I love her to death. But I mean, if there was an instance where golem won her over, I'd uninstall the game. Yeah, I'd uninstall Clash Royale for the rest of my life. Never doing that. Now, Royal Giant, he's got the royal status. He's a handsome guy, and he doesn't seem as dumb as a giant, right? He still carries around a huge cannon everywhere, right? And he could also crush her if he steps on her, but he is very charming, and I would be pretty worried. Three Musketeers, no shot. Again, it's three of them. Like my girlfriend's not about that. um, Dark Prince, I'd be somewhat concerned. Uh, he seems very rebellious. Like I don't know if I don't know if my girlfriend's parents would be supportive of his rebellious, dark, mysterious, like life. But he seems like he has some allure to him, some charm, some mystery, but nowhere near as concerning as the other cards. Poison would literally kill her. Princess, yeah, I'd be somewhat concerned. I mean, she is a princess. Actually, I'd be pretty worried. Everyone has like that princess. Like, oh my god, I wish I could be a princess or whatever. Like meeting a princess. That princess might just have enough charm. Who knows? Who knows? Ice Wizard, I'd honestly go with no shot. And hear me out. If she like gives him a hug or holds his hand, that hand is gonna get frostbite and like fall off. So sorry, Ice Wizard. Unless you're like pen pals with her, unless you could like woo her with your words, it's not happening. But it's not happening, pal. Fire Spirit, no shot. I mean, it's basically a child. Furnace, no shot. It's just a tin can that produces children. So I guess maybe that must mean that the furnace is a girl. If it produces children. But it's just a tin can. It's not going to do anything. Guards, no shots. Just an armored skeleton. The miner, I'd be pretty worried about the miner. He seems like a very kind, intelligent guy. But the thing is that he seems like he'd be constantly covered in dirt, right? My girlfriend loves cleanliness, right? And that dirt getting everywhere, like every single day, coming from the coal mines, I think it'd be too much. I'd still be pretty worried because he has that charm, but give it like a year or two, ugh, no, 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 no. Sparky, no shot. Lava Hound, no shot. Ice Spirit, no shot. Bowler, I'd be somewhat concerned. Actually, no. Bowler's a goblin. Sorry. Bowler, you have some charm to you, but you're a giant who carries around a deadly boulder, and you're not that good looking, dude. You might be a little bit handsome, but you're really not that good looking. You'd have no shot. Log, no shot. Lumberjack, I'd be pretty worried. He's a handsome guy. But he actually no, 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 no. He might be handsome, but that's basically it, right? And he has a cool job as a lumberjack. But if you think about it, he's really an alcoholic that just drinks rage spells. Who would want that? If all he does is just drink and cut trees, that's not a cool. Actually, no shot, no shot, not in the slightest. Like literally, he is a raging alcoholic because he drops a rage potion. He is a raging alcoholic that wields an axe 24/7. That would no shot, pal, no shot. Snow Golem, no shot. Mega Minion, no shot. I mean, come on, you're a minion. I'm sorry, bro. Inferno Dragon, no shot. Graveyard Spell, no shot. Elite Barbarians, Elite Barbarians, here's the thing. They're a bit more charming than regular Barbarians, right? Because they have that elite rank. Maybe they're smarter or whatever. But realistically, I think that the Elite Barbarians would fall in love with each other before they even try going after my girlfriend. They have that little bromance going on. So for that, I might put it no shot, but you never know. They have a little bit of charm to them. They have that status. Tornado, absolutely not. Clone spell. I mean, hey, you clone me, you never know. But realistically, if it's just a spell that clones anything, it's not doing much. Electro Wizard, somewhat concerned. Now, hear me out. Ice Wizard would be pretty bad, but if my girlfriend just wears like rubber, like a rubber suit of armor all the time, and it can transfer the electric shocks, then it might be. Nah, he's actually Electro Wizard's a weirdo. No chance. Goblin Gang and Dark Goblin and Battle Ram, no chances because they're goblins and barbarians. Executioner, he has that dark allure to him, like the Dark Prince. But being an executioner for a living, that's a little bit of a hard job to deal with. Maybe he goes psychotic from his job. He sees things no one else should see, and like maybe comes back home and like does something horrible. With that giant axe. But I mean, realistically, he's not. He wouldn't go anywhere. He's not doing anything. He's not stealing my girl. He's not charming anybody. Sorry. The only thing that's shining is that axe. That's it. Not your personality. Bats, no shot. Heal spirit, no shot. Bandit, no shot. I mean, she's a criminal, right? Who would fall in love with the criminal, right? She's also a short queen, so it doesn't really fall in the archetype of being tall. But yeah, she's a scoundrel. She is a criminal, so no shot. Night Witch has some cool allure to her. Um, I would definitely be somewhat concerned. I mean, just pure blue eyes would be kind of scary, but I could see the charm that she might have. But summoning bats everywhere, that's got to be pretty hectic. I don't know. My girlfriend loves animals, but having bats everywhere, they might give her rabies. It might not be good. I'd be somewhat concerned, though. Goblin Barrel, no shot, just spawn skeletons. Flying Machine, it's just a machine. Cannon Cart is just a cart. Mega Knight is gay, so he's not going to go after. My girlfriend's going to go after the barbarians. Sappies, they're just a machine. Bar Barrel, um, yeah. The only reason why I might be concerned, right? If the barrel doesn't kill her, the barbarian could act like he's super hurt and he needs help. And then my girlfriend, being super kind and sweet, goes over there to help him and heal his wounds, right? Because he's like bleeding out or getting a massive concussion from hitting the ground. And then he's like, "Oh, you saved me." And then he looks into her eyes. But other than that, realistically, he's just a barbarian. He's not going to do anything. He's an idiot. Hunter, Hunter's a handsome guy, but he's probably like 50 years old, so. Plus, he wields around a shotgun, which is concerning, and you can barely see his eyes. A lot of facial hair. Not there's a problem with a lot of facial hair, but he doesn't have eyes. Royal Ghost is like 1,000,000,000,000 years old. No shot. Magic Archer, I'd be pretty worried about. He is, I mean, listen, those bright blue eyes might be a little bit creepy, but, um, he's a handsome looking guy. He has that charm. He really does have that charm. He has his archery, which is pretty cool to watch. But I don't think he's as alluring as the prince or the wizard. Rascals, kind of like the bandit. They're all scoundrels. So no. Snowball, no shot. Royal recruits, there's 7 of them. And they're also pretty dumb. And you don't even know what they look like. They could be ugly. So, I don't want to hate on them. I don't want to knock on people's appearances, but they might not be the best looking people under there. No shot. Royal Hogs, I mean, it's an animal, so that's pretty weird. Goblin Giant, well, she would have to love both the giant and the 2 goblins, so that's already a no. And the Goblin Giant is not that good looking, and he could kill her, and he's also a goblin. So, goblins are conniving in this game, and it's like a bandit almost. So no shot. Electro Dragon is adorable, but no shot. It's basically an animal. Ram Rider, I mean, the only thing that would really be cool is that my girlfriend could pet the ram all day. But other than that, like, oh no. I feel like she's less alluring than the other people. All she does is ride a ram. That's it. Skeleton. What's it called? Wall breakers? Nope. Earthquake spell? Nope. The Diddy cage? Nah. Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Maybe they could be pen pals. Like he's like in prison and like he's writing like, "Oh, like I love you. Why can't you be with me?" But and then she writes back like, "Oh, like I'll save you from prison." But realistically, no. The second he pops out of that cage and he's like a coked out version of a goblin, sipping on that lean, it's over. Fisherman, fish I'd be pretty worried about. I mean, he might smell like fish all the time, but he seems like a handsome, kind lad. So I'd be pretty worried. Elixir Golem, no shot. Battle Healer, I'd be pretty worried. She heals people, you know? Now, she heals people physically, but maybe she heals people emotionally. You know, maybe she can resolve conflict perfectly. I'd be pretty worried. Firecracker, absolutely not. Not only because she's annoying and no one likes her and her personality, but she wields a gigantic rocket launcher, which is pretty scary. You know, I don't think my girlfriend's parents would approve of that. I don't think she would approve of it. So, sorry, Firecracker, no shot. Royal Delivery, you're a spell. You would kill her. Skeleton dragons, no. I mean, they're skeletons and they're also dragons. Electro Spirit, no. Um, yeah. Electro Giant. That it would Electro Giant. She can't even shake his hand to meet him without getting electrified. It wouldn't work. Mother Witch. Same thing, maybe as the witch. Um, where she can conjure up some sort of like heal potion, or I mean, potion of love. But you know, no, it's gonna take her longer to make that potion of love. Before I get to her and kill her, she's not making that potion of love. So the regular witch and the mother witch just gone. Goblin drill, nope. Golden Knight, oh, Golden Knight is going next to the prince. She's gone. If my girlfriend saw Golden Knight, I'd be breaking a sweat. I'd be breaking a sweat. He's got so much charm. He's got so much of that riz. You know, he literally mugs everyone and mews all the time. He's got that wavy golden hair, and I'm sure he's like just as status empowering, as the prince, if that makes sense. Like his status, probably gives him so much power and prestige. So yeah, she's a goner. I'm done for. I'm going back to that kingdom alone. Archer Queen, I'd be pretty worried. Um, Again, my girlfriend doesn't swing that way, but it's a literal queen. She is literally the queen. The only problem is that there's a king, so maybe the Archer Queen is getting some infidelity, in her life, which would not be good. My girlfriend's much smarter than that. She would probably report it to the king and say, "Yeah, Archer Queen's trying to get with me and some other cards. You better behead her now." So yeah, I'd be worried because she's charming and she's the queen, but realistically, like she's cheating on that barbarian king, but Barbarian King's not even in the game. We don't know where he is. In fact, Archer Queen might be dating Skeleton King, which is a skeleton, so no shot. Oh, where'd it go? Yeah, no shot. But maybe Archer Queen and Skeleton King are dating. I don't know. Mighty Miner is a handsome guy. I'd be pretty worried. He carries around that huge drill, which might be intimidating. But he's got like the stash, he's got the charm, right? Better version of the miner. He's got that prestige to him. But the thing, actually, you know what? The reason why I'm somewhat concerned is because love makes you do crazy things, right? It could change your lifestyle, change how you think. But the Mighty Miner, I think, is really keen on just being alone and living in the mines the rest of his life. But you never know. I mean, my girlfriend is very, very gorgeous. He might look at her and be like, "I gotta be with this woman no matter what. Screw mining. I need her in my life." Then I'd be like, But realistically, he's not coming out of the mines. She's probably never gonna see him. He's just gonna be in the mines the whole time. Phoenix is a bird. Monk, you're like 1,000 years old. Little Prince, you're not only a toddler, but you're also very annoying. No shot. Wait a minute. I just realized, does that make Princess? Because Little Prince is obviously like a toddler, but isn't Princess like a little bit? I thought Princess was supposed to be like 25 or something. I don't know. Whatever. Prince and Princess are like toddlers, so I'm demoting Princess actually. Neither of them have a shot. Um Void Spell, no. Goblin Demolisher, no. Goblin Curse, no. Goblin Machine, no. Absolutely not. Suspicious Bush, no. Goblin Stein, nope. Um, maybe Goblin Stein invents like some mechanism that like can create a love potion. I don't know, but realistically, not in the slightest. Rune Giant, she's peaceful. She's peaceful. I'd be kind of concerned. I can barely see her eyes, but Berserker, you're like 5 years old. Boss Bandit, you're literally the queen of crime. You are a problem in society. You are like a drug lord. No, absolutely not. My girlfriend is so much smarter than that. She would never do that. Spirit Empress, somewhat concerned. Especially because she has that really cool dragon, but I don't know. She seems kind of like an oddball. When the card first came out, no one really batted an eye. She seems kind of irrelevant. Um, not that my girlfriend's gonna date people for prestige here, but it's also just like I don't know. She just doesn't seem that cool. The Spirit Empress. I'd have much better charm than she does. So sorry, Spirit Empress. Even with the dragon, no shot. Vine spell, nope. Archer Towers, I mean, you're the princess, so you're a toddler. Cannonier. Cannonier's kind of charming. I'd be somewhat concerned. But his job, he has to go wake up probably at like 2 in the morning every day and go sit on a tower. I don't know if that's the kind of life my girlfriend want to live. Having to wake up and find your lover not there. Slacking off at the cannon all day. Shooting out like one cannon every like 20 seconds and then he dies. That's not good. Dagger Duchess, you're annoying. Royal Chef, I'd be pretty concerned about. He's a good cook, Lots of women love cooks. I gotta start learning how to cook. He seems like a charming, handsome lad. But I'm gonna say is that he has that much charm. I mean, similarly to the Cannonier, he does just sit at his tower all day, but he can go home, make dinner for her, make breakfast in bed, some pancakes. Yeah, I'd be pretty worried. Skeleton. Okay, the Evos, I'm not gonna bother doing, because the Evos are literally just the same versions as all these cards, unless there's something different. Hold on, I'm just gonna sift through each one of these. Let's see, is there anything different that would make sense? Yeah, no, I that would just be it. Maybe the fact that the heroes give a little bit more prestige, you know. So actually, I'm gonna put Hero Giant as pretty worried because if he's a hero, he's probably done something very heroic. Um, so even though he can still crush her to death if he steps on her by accident, he's got that charm. He's got that prestige, that status. He seems alluring. Musketeer, Mini P.E.K.K.A. I don't think their status would change much. But Knight, yeah, Knight gets that charm. Yeah, she would be gone. Not only are you a knight, but you're a knight that like saved everybody. You're a hero. I'm a goner, bro. I'm going back to that King Tower. I'm gonna be drinking with that Lumberjack, and yeah, I'd be having a horrible time. But let's see, that's everything. All right. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Most of them are no shot, for good reasons. But yeah, I just figured realistically, I love my girlfriend to death. I'm so thankful I have her. And realistically, she would never go after anybody. She loves me to death. I love her to death. But I just thought this was a fun video to make. So, my girlfriend, if you're seeing this, I hope you thought it was funny. Please don't kill me. But yeah, if you all enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, as it would truly help me out a lot. And I'm trying to post every single day, because I would love to grow this channel. It's getting some pretty good traction now. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you agree or disagree or have anything to say or any new ideas. But hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful night, everyone.